hit that subscribe button, guys, for the latest in boxing. So it's pretty much fight day. Well, not fight day, but it's going to be fight day in about 2 days. But it's pretty much fight week. And we got Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne. I'm going to make this very clear. Lucas Browne only has a puncher's chance in this fight. That is it. If you're a big, hardcore Lucas Browne fan, you better hope that he lands flush on Dillian Whyte. And you better hope that he hurts Dillian Whyte. And you better hope that when he hurts Dillian Whyte, if he hurts Dillian Whyte, he stops him and goes for broke. Because that is really the only way he's going to beat Dillian Whyte. In terms of everything else, I just think that Dillian Whyte is in a way better position right now than Lucas Browne is currently in his career. Lucas Browne is about 10 years older. Right? He's 10 years the senior of Dillian Whyte. Lucas Browne has been very inactive. And that's the biggest thing out of everything is his inactivity. He's 39 years old. Or he's going to be 39 years old this year, I should say. And he's fought once in the past 2 years. The last time he fought was against a bum. And prior to that, he hadn't fought in about 15 months. And it was against Ruslan Chagaev when he fought for the title and went to Germany. And when he fought Ruslan Chagaev was also old, just like he was. And if you look at that fight, that was his first big test as a professional. When he fought Ruslan Chagaev, that was really his first real test. That was the first guy he fought that was actually a name, a guy with a pulse. Unless you consider Andres Rodenko a test. I don't know. Maybe you do. But when he fought Ruslan Chagaev, that was like the first guy he fought that was somebody that you know. You know. Again, unless you consider James Toney, a washed-up James Toney, a test. A guy who turned pro at middleweight. But yeah, in his first real test against an old Ruslan Chagaev, I thought he looked like crap. Like, I was not impressed when I saw that fight at all. He was getting dropped, he was getting hurt, and he was losing. He was getting beat up. I mean, just if you look at his face, he was getting beat up in that fight. What bailed him out was his punching power. Again, if you look at the fight, he was losing the fight. What bailed him out was his punching power. And mind you, this was against a guy like Ruslan Chagaev, who's a short heavyweight. Ruslan Chagaev is like 6 foot tall. He's a short heavyweight / cruiserweight, and he was at the end of his career. Ruslan Chagaev was what, like 39 years old when he fought him? Matter of fact, he retired after he lost to... That's how old he was. Ruslan Chagaev was so old that he retired after he lost to Lucas Browne. He retired because he was like, all right, I'm too old for boxing. I got to retire. So right now, Lucas Browne is basically the same age that Ruslan Chagaev was when he fought him. Lucas Browne hasn't fought in 2 years. Dillian Whyte has been very active. He's been very active. He hasn't been fighting the best opposition, but he has been fighting guys at least. He's been fighting guys, you know, like Robert Helenius, you know, that bum he fought in the undercard of the Terrence Crawford versus Julius Indongo, you know, unification fight. And who else, man? Dillian Whyte. No, Dave Allen. Excuse me. It's Dillian Whyte. Dave Allen. He's basically been active. And again, his activity and the fact that he's much younger than Lucas Browne, that's going to help him big time against Lucas Browne. And I also think he's just a better talent overall. I think Dillian Whyte is a better inside fighter than Lucas Browne. I think Dillian Whyte throws really good uppercuts. Better uppercuts than Lucas Browne. I think this is going to be one of those matches where youth is going to prevail. And is going to overrun, you know, the old, fighter. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I expect Dillian Whyte to really beat up Lucas Browne. I know a lot of Lucas Browne fans, you know, I see them online, you know, they're acting like, You know, they think this is a very competitive fight. I don't. I think Dillian Whyte, I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Dillian Whyte really beat up Lucas Browne. I think you're going to see Lucas Browne with cuts in his face. You're going to see Lucas Browne with a, you know, bloody lip. You're going to see Lucas Browne with a swollen eye. He's going to be getting lit up. I'm telling you right now. And I think you're going to just see, I think Lucas Browne is tough. That's one thing I will say. I think he's tough. So I think you're going to see him take a beating. Because Dillian Whyte is not a big puncher. For example, if this was Anthony Joshua in there, if this was AJ or Deontay Wilder, I would say I would pick them to stop Lucas Browne. But because Dillian Whyte is not a big puncher, and because Lucas Browne is a, you know, he seems to be one of those guys that he's able to take punishment, I think it's going to go the distance. But I think it's going to be a clear winner. And that clear winner is going to be Dillian Whyte holding his hands up at the end of this fight. Again, I just don't see, I've never been impressed with Lucas Browne when it comes to skill set. I've never been impressed with his resume. I've just never been impressed. I know he tried to outbox in spots Ruslan Shagaev, but he clearly failed. Matter of fact, that's what he should do. I mean, he didn't fail because he won, but still he was getting beat up in the fight. But matter of fact, I think that's what he should do. I think if Lucas Browne tries to go for total attack or tiff attack, like Errol Spence Jr. likes to say, I think if he tries to do that against Dillian Whyte, I think he's going to get himself seriously beat up. So I think he should try and outbox Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is a guy that could easily get outboxed. I saw Robert Helenius. Out of all heavyweights, I saw Robert Helenius outbox and win rounds against Dillian Whyte. Robert Helenius is a guy that never boxes on the back foot. He's no expert heavyweight at boxing in the back foot. He's no Hughie Fury. He doesn't know how to, you know, he's not the best in his boxing game. He's not the best in his back foot game. Yet, you know, Robert Helenius is a guy that 99% of his fights, he comes forward. He tries to be the aggressor. He throws that jab. But when he fought Dillian Whyte, he did a 360 and he tried to outbox Dillian Whyte. Because he probably realized, and he probably saw Dillian Whyte's tapes and he was like, all right, this guy, you know, this guy could be, I could outbox him. And like I said, he lost to Dillian Whyte because he wasn't being offensive enough. That was his main problem. He was outboxing Dillian Whyte, but he wasn't being offensive enough. He wasn't winning rounds. He was just making Dillian Whyte really frustrated. But again, if a guy like Robert Helenius, a guy who is a slow heavyweight, a guy who never fights on the back foot, if a guy like that was able to frustrate and outbox and win some rounds against Dillian Whyte, then that's what I keep saying. Imagine if that was Wilder or any other heavyweight who's faster. You know, Hughie Fury would outbox the hell out of Dillian Whyte easily. But yeah, I think Lucas Browne should do that. Because, like I said, if he goes, again, unless he's trying to go for broke and he's trying to knock out Dillian Whyte, because, again, I think that's the only way he's going to win against Dillian Whyte is if he goes for, if he tries to knock him out. So if he does that and he goes for broke and he tries to land his power punch, then that would be the only reason why I would think he should go on the inside against Dillian Whyte. But, again, I don't think that... Oh no, I shouldn't say that. I don't think he'd be able to land. He could be able. He would be able to land because Dillian Whyte is no defensive wizard. He gets hit in every fight. I mean, he got hit badly and he got hurt badly by Robert Helenius. And if Robert Helenius could hurt Dillian Whyte, then Lucas Browne could hurt him too. So I shouldn't really say that. But again, I think he should try to outbox Dillian Whyte because I think that's the only way he'll be able to beat him. I think even though he could land and hurt Dillian Whyte, I think he would. That would be a risky thing for him because it would give Dillian Whyte the advantage because he'll be in the inside and he'll give Dillian Whyte the opportunity to hit him and land those uppercuts. The big question is, what happens to the winner of this fight? What happens to the winner of this fight? We already know what's going to happen if Dillian Whyte wins. He's going to, you know, say in the post-fight that he wants Deontay Wilder. You know, he's going to say he wants Deontay Wilder. You know, I'm the mandatory. I want to fight you. Joshua's going to fight, you know, the guy that I ducked, Jarrell Miller in Brooklyn. And you don't have an opponent, Deontay Wilder. I hope if Dillian Whyte beats Lucas Browne, I hope that Deontay Wilder takes that fight. Because you already know that I got Deontay Wilder knocking Dillian Whyte's, ass the hell out. He's going to lay him out. This is going to be a massacre. Because Deontay Wilder is no Lucas Browne. Deontay Wilder is far more dangerous than Lucas Browne. He's far more faster than Lucas Browne. And he's far more younger, more fresher. And again, stylistically, I think that is a horrible fight for Dillian Whyte versus Wilder. And I want Wilder to prove me right. That's why I actually want Dillian Whyte to fight Wilder. Because a lot of Deontay Wilder haters, or people that just don't like Deontay Wilder, have gone around saying that, Dillian Whyte would cause Deontay Wilder hella problems. Dillian Whyte would beat Deontay Wilder. And I beg to differ. I don't think he's going to beat Deontay Wilder at all. Not even close. I think it's the total opposite. I think Deontay Wilder could outbox Dillian Whyte, and I think Deontay Wilder could seriously knock out Dillian Whyte and put him out of his put him on his ass, you know what I'm saying? So that's all I have to say, guys. Like always, if you watch the video from start to finish, much appreciated. And McGregor's out. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe for daily boxing news.